Hey everyone, welcome to the KE report and a company introduction to FinEx Metals, traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol FINX. We are chatting with the chairman and CEO, Tero Kosonen. FinEx is a NewQuest company. We've featured some of the other companies on the show before, such as Headwater and Inflection Resources. Now, FinEx Metals, company focused in northern Finland in the central Lapland belt. The company has 5 projects in total, the flagship being the Ruoppa Project. This is a new company to the market too, just listed in June of this year. We're going to be getting Tero to give us an overview of the company, what happened when it was private, now that it's public, what the work plans are, and where some of the near-term catalysts are. So Tero, welcome to the show. Let's talk about a bit of history for this company. Give us the lay of the land of when this company was founded and the work that was done when you were private before going public in June, please.
Well, thanks, Corey. Happy to be here. So then again, named Tero Kosonen, born and raised in Finland, southern part of Finland. Spent about 27 years in Asia before then moving to Vancouver, where I've been residing in the past 3 years. As you mentioned, I'm a co-founder of NewQuest Capital. So an entrepreneurial, discovery-driven investment group that incubates and finances early-stage mineral exploration projects in mining-friendly jurisdictions. And by that, I mean Australia, Western US, Canada, and then Finland. But I guess here is the topic is FinEx. So as you mentioned, we just got listed about a month ago. We are 4 years old. Well, we were 4 years about when we were private. And really the story behind, or the idea behind FinEx is, or was, the Rupert Resources and their fantastic Ikkari discovery in central Lapland greenstone belt. And that really triggered the thought about, hey, you know what, maybe at NewQuest, maybe we should be focusing on Finland. Anyway, I was born and raised in there, so maybe there might be a slight advantage. And then I reached out to my buddies at the Finnish Geological Survey and really looking for a good local team, boots on the ground, exploration geos who could be helping us to identify most prospective ground. And we got really fortunate, because right now it would be very, very difficult to get any kind of prospective ground available there on that greenstone belt. So 4 years ago, it was still possible. So basically, we've been doing just a very basic, the geophysics, combining all the existing data, whatever there's been in the past, whether it's by the Finnish Geological Survey or the previous operators, and then doing our own work. Lots and lots of soil sampling, tons of top of bedrock drilling. Last summer, we did trenching, and now we are fully permitted. We are pretty well cashed up, so we'll be commencing our maiden drill program there in about 10 days' time. So very excited.
Well, Tero, just a little follow-up on what I was calling the Finnish gold rush on the show just a couple of weeks ago. In addition to the Ikkari discovery that Rupert's made, we've had Orion on the show before. They're also adjacent to that. But you're also very close, only 17 kilometers southwest from Agnico Eagle's Kittilä mine. So maybe just talk about that there's a lot of companies staking ground here and where you sit in position to some of those, especially the advantage of being so close to Agnico Eagle's operating mine.
Yeah, thank you, Shad. You're right. I mean, we are on the same shear zone as Europe's largest gold producing mine by Agnico. She's at about 17 kilometers away from them, and there's fantastic infrastructure all around there. So you mentioned there is a bit of a Finnish gold rush right now going on, which I'm grateful for that one. I'm a shareholder in many of the companies that operate in there, and I'm a huge fan of Orion and Valkea and Mawson and whatnot. So I just hope that one of us will be making a new world-class discovery just like Rupert did, and I don't see any reason why not. Because again, Finland and the central Lapland greenstone belt is vastly underexplored compared to, let's say, global comparables of Abitibi, Norseman Wiluna in Western Australia, or the Birimian belts in West Africa. So I'm expecting something to be happening, some new discoveries, some excitement within the next, 6 to 24 months.
Tero, let's talk about your exploration strategy then. Ruoppa, that is the focus. It sounds like you're going to be drilling here in the near term, but the work that you've done to come up to this point and maybe outline what you're going to be drilling, the key target here, please.
Sure. So again, we're looking for orogenic gold. We are in the same shear zone as Agnico's Kittilä mine and whatnot. And for the past 4 years, like I mentioned, we've been really systematically approaching and advancing the project to a stage where we are. We are fortunate for several reasons, but one of them would be that the glacial till cover is only about an average about 2.5 meters in our property. We are also located on dry land, which means that we can do trenching and we can do drilling during the summertime, which is not possible for all the projects in there where they are more on a wetland areas or swamp areas. And then also the availability of the drill companies is much better and whatnot. So we are in a very, very good position there. As I said, last year we did trenching. We've had some exceptional results from there, like 52 samples graded over 1 gram per ton, 19 over 10 grams per ton, and then the highlight was 95.1 grams per ton. And now we are really what we are doing. We are just drill testing beneath that trench area. So we're going to be drill testing about area for 400 meters times 500 meters. It's about 12 to 14 holes, about 2,500 meters. And as I said, we're fully permitted and truly excited.
So 2,500 meters at 12 to 14 holes. You had mentioned to us off mic that you have 6 priority holes at this Ruoppa East area. Maybe vector in on Ruoppa East and tell us why it's such a high priority target.
Again, it's really coming from these exceptional grab sample results from the trenches. So that's the reason why we are really focusing on that one and testing it properly. And there's plenty of opportunities there. There's also plenty of opportunities still to expand it because open to all the directions at this point. And that's why actually right now, before we are doing the core drilling, we have already in the past few weeks, what we have been doing is doing some more trenching, some more top of bedrock drilling, rock sampling and whatnot. So we plan to expand it, but right now really the focus is about drill testing beneath those very, very attractive trenching results.
Now, just to your point about location too, this is really playing off the narrative of some of your neighbors, some of those key discoveries that you are around.
Absolutely, and then again, we already mentioned several times 17 kilometers from Kittilä mine, but also we are about 53 kilometers away from Rupert's Ikkari, and yeah, it's just exceptional, address to be right now doing some exploration work for, especially for gold, and the Finnish gold rush definitely helps. And then the other thing what I want to emphasize here is that the infrastructure is just amazing. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. We are really high up north, about latitude 68, which means about 170 kilometers north of Arctic Circle. But the paved roads or the extremely well maintained, forest roads everywhere. We got power lines, we got mobile networks and whatnot. So it's just amazing how easy it's to operate in there.
Well, and we've been focusing on your Ruoppa flagship project, but the company, as we mentioned at the onset, does have 5 projects overall. The other projects, we don't have time to get into each one of them separately, but there was one that you said was more of a priority. So maybe give us a quick snapshot of the other projects the company holds. Sure.
So we do have additional, let's say, 3 gold projects. And then the other ones are more focused on the, let's say, critical raw materials, which again, I mean, that can be very, very valuable, especially right now in EU with the EU's Critical Raw Materials Act and whatnot. So we have this project called Tulppio, and that's very eastern part of Lapland. And what we are having there is nickel, PGE, cobalt, and also potential for copper. And it's been explored already previously by the Finnish Geological Survey, and they did hit metal there, very, very shallow holes. And that's some kind of very interesting intrusion, about 5 times 2 kilometers large and about 2 kilometers deep. So there's going to be plenty of potential for something else. But we are fully permitted in there. We are looking for potential partners because right now we want to focus on gold. We want to focus on Ruoppa and especially the Ruoppa East target. But yeah, there's much more in our portfolio than just for one single project.
You've mentioned permits a couple of times. You're permitted at Ruoppa, also permitted at this other asset. What's your relationship like with local and federal or national governments in terms of permitting, and what sort of timelines have you seen?
Yeah, well, I think we have exceptionally good relationships, and that's really thanks to our local team, our chief geologist, our senior advisors in there. They have combined over 100 years of experience in operating in Finland. So obviously a small population, small circle of mining people and whatnot. So they are really, really extremely well connected in there. I'm very happy with the work. We have a cooperation, what we have had with the mining authority that's called TUKES, that's the Finnish Safety and Chemicals Agency. I think they're very smart, professional and business-friendly people in there. I know they have a lot of backlog right now because of the gold rush, I guess, or the mineral rush to Finland, but they are doing their best. And again, it's a pleasure to be cooperating with them and the other authorities, and we've been very fortunate with that.
Well, Tero, it's your first time on the show, so it'd be great if you could share your background in the industry, but you mentioned your team's 100 years of experience there. Maybe highlight 1 or 2 other key people from the board or the management team, just so we know a little bit more about the team behind FINEX Metals.
Yeah, so maybe I start with the board just quickly. I'm going to highlight my business partner at NewQuest Capital, Alistair Waddell, who has a long experience in both from major mining companies as well as then at juniors. And I think it's an amazing combination. And he used to be, the former VP of Global Greenfields Exploration for Kinross Gold. So he's really bringing in the understanding what the majors want, how they operate and whatnot. So just very happy to have Alistair as my business partner. And by the way, he's in Finland right now. Then the Finnish team, I want to emphasize our chief geologist, Dr. Petri Peltonen, who's more than 30 years of experience in exploration in Finland, again from the major mining companies, but also from the Finnish Geological Survey. And he's really the force behind then building up the rest of the team in there, as well as then the project portfolio. So he's been doing great. And then we have Dr. Pasi Eilu, who did a really great career at the Finnish Geological Survey, as very, very well known in there, and as well as Jukka Jokela as our senior advisor. He used to be the CEO of Anglo American in Finland.
Tero, I want to circle around on the company's strategy here because a lot of the NewQuest companies that we have chatted with have brought on major companies, major miners as partners for their exploration to help fund some of the exploration. You have a portfolio of projects here, 5 in total. You are going ahead and drilling your flagship Ruoppa project. You also mentioned permits for the Talipo project. Is there potential here that you would go more down that NewQuest strategy and find partners to continue to advance these assets, or are you going to do it yourself all within FinEx?
That's a great question. I mean, trust me, I think about that on a daily basis. Now, it's been really, really good strategy for the other NewQuest companies like Inflection Resources and Headwater Gold, especially during the past tough few years in the market. So I didn't need to dilute anything. Been able to drill, and actually we've been pretty much covering our G&A by the management fee. So I'm a huge proponent of that hybrid model, what we have in those companies. Now, whether it's going to happen to FinEx potentially, but I think it's a bit too early to say. At least when it comes to Ruoppa, we want to again drill test this Ruoppa East target first, and then kind of draw conclusions on the next steps on the strategy. But I am open definitely for potentially bringing in a major to help us to drill test the critical raw material, the focus property there in the eastern Lapland.
Well, Tero, to that point about funding the adventure, you'd mentioned to us off mic that you're cashed up for this summer program and still will have some left over. What do you have in the treasury right now to execute on this exploration strategy?
So what we did actually as part of the Go Public financing, so we raised about $4.3 million. So we are pretty well cashed up right now. Probably somewhere slightly below 4 at this point. We'll be spending about, I would say, $1.6 million this for this campaign in general, not only for the drilling, but also for all the other work what we have been doing and will be doing still during the coming next couple of months. And anyway, even after that one, we still have cash on until.
What are the drill costs looking like in Finland here with this whole exploration rush there? Have you noticed drill costs moving higher? Has it been harder to get access to rigs? Just essentially a 2,500 meter program. What's it going to cost you, and what kind of action have you seen in terms of getting these rigs?
Right. Well, first of all, I mean, we are very fortunate that one of the leading Finnish drilling companies has been and is our shareholder. So they participated already on the private rounds and whatnot. So we're very, very happy we're cooperating with them, and they will be helping us with the drilling. Now, availability itself, as I mentioned, we are fortunate that we can drill during summer months because we are in the dry land area. And that's why the drill availability has been pretty good. And now how it's going to be then next winter and beyond, we don't know. What I'm aware of that there have been new entrants to the market, so there'll be new drilling companies coming into the market and whatnot. So I think the availability should be reasonable. We just, well, obviously as part of the Go Public process, we updated our 43-101 technical report, and in that one we budgeted 330 Canadian dollars per meter for drilling. So that's basically where we are.
Well, Tero, you mentioned at the onset that it's an orogenic gold system that you're going after. So just for setting the expectations for the market, how will you know that your drill program has been a success? What are you looking to achieve on this initial maiden drill program?
Well, that's a really exceptional question, and of course our technical team, who is by the way having the technical meetings there in Finland, the whole team is we are pondering about that one and making them the kind of targets. I cannot give you any kind of grill, whatever you would say, gram meters expectation that right now I wouldn't want to do that, but of course internally we have been discussing about that quite a bit. But it's really about learning much more about the structure, what about the continuity, and of course then about the grades.
So Tero, just remind everybody then, news flow wise, when could we start seeing some of the drill results and the other news that we should expect from all this other more or less surface work that you're doing as well?
Yeah, so we just put out a news release actually a couple of days ago, and that's about more or less explaining, like an exploration update on the Ruoppa Gold Project, mainly on the work, what we have been doing, what we will be doing throughout until about mid-September. Then, next step will be commencing the drill program. It's going to be happening in about 10 days' time. And then on, when do we expect the results? I would say the labs might be taking about anytime 4 to 6 weeks to get the results. So I would expect then more news flow coming in mid-September, early October. And that's going to be really crucial.
All right, Tero, thank you very much for this introduction. Again, FinEx Metals, traded on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol FINX. This is a newly listed company, just listed in June. Drill program starting soon, focused in the central Lapland belt in Finland. I'll post a link in the show notes. Please, everyone, read over the company's corporate presentation. Send us any questions you have, and we'll follow up with Tero when we get some more, results from the exploration program that's ongoing. Tero, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate this.